Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good greetings. The previous semester have already ended. A new semester is coming up and this will be the wrapping up of the previous semester. And here we are focusing on the final exam results, some student feedbacks and what we can learn from them, insyaAllah. So what we will try to do is I will try to put the snapshot of the exam results, some student feedback over here, and we will discuss about them, and let's hope to learn something, inshallah. So on the side here you can see the final exam results, final exam marks of the statics throughout all the section that I teach in the previous semester. This is purely the raw mark of the final exam. This is not added yet to the carry mark, nor added yet to the midterm exam. So for the discussion of the midterm exam, I have posted earlier the discussion about it earlier in the semester. You can find that video later if you are interested in that, but this is solely and purely about the final exam. We want to see how the student perform in the final exam itself, given the approach that we have take and apply throughout the semester. So one thing that you can see is the trend. I arranged the trend from the lowest on the left side to the highest on the right side. So you can see if you look at the very left, there's one student actually. I'm not sure because there's 100 or almost 100 student. There's 100 plus student initially take with my section, but towards the end some student drop or withdraw, and the total right now is 98 students. So if you look at the most left, you can see one student get 10. I was surprised because I didn't expect the student to struggle this much because he did very well in the midterm, but for whatever reason, for the final he get only 10%, and the next after that is almost 30%, and then the rest is 30 plus, and then 40 plus, and then the rest is above 50. So if I put the line for 50 marks, because the passing mark is 50%, so if I put there, you can see that the portion is around, I don't know, 20 plus student less than 50% marks. Okay, now this may seem normal in any course, but in this university, in this kuliah, in this subject, year after year after year, semester after semester after semester, this is really not that normal, because the portion of the student that tend to have to repeat and get less than 50% is quite significantly high most of the time, right? So this result really, I'm quite happy with the result, because the percentage of the student that get less than 50% significantly reduced compared to the previous semester. So something have worked, I hope. So that's one deduction that we can do. Now let's take a look at the range of the marks, because from this plot, this is just to show the demography or the trend of the students from the lowest to the highest, right? So you can see like two students that get above 90% in the final exam, but we will go into the range from each 10 marks, right? So now the plot is there. You can see one student get from 0 to 10, and between 10 and 20 no student there, and then 20 to 30 I think there's another one, and then there's 5 that get 30 to 40, a lot that get 40 to 50 there, 15 students, and then the rest is above. So significant number, I think, generally speaking, for those who get above 80%. So in terms of percentage, we can see here, so I'm quite happy from the chart here. You can see that less than quarter of the student that get less than 50. Mind you, again, this is only the final exam, not added to the midterm, etc. And then we have some number of the student that there's 2% that get more than 90, and then there's another 14% that get between 80 and 90. In total, this is 16% that get more than 80, right? And so 16% that get A is quite okay for me. I'm quite happy for that. But this is not to say how many percent that get A, because to get A, actually it comprised of the carry mark plus the final exam. So those who get in the final between 70 and 80, if they get very good mark in the midterm, they can still have the total mark above 80. So the percentage that get A is probably more than 16%, but I'm focusing here on the final exam, so 16% get more than 80. I'm quite happy with that, right? So because generally speaking, compared to any of the previous semesters, I don't think I have ever seen this kind of percentage that get 80% and above in the final exam. One thing though, still you can say that's a significant number in terms of those who get less than 50 in the final exam. So there's two things that I'm focusing or pondering upon right now. One is, it seems that the approach that we have done in the previous semester seems to have pushed those who are on the top half to get better grades, right, generally speaking. But still those who are in the bottom 40%, or I don't know, still struggle to get more than 50. So we have to look into what more can we do, I think, to improve the situation there. Okay, now we are shifting towards the student feedback survey report. We will look into some of the students' comment. I hope I will be able to put all this comment on screen, and we will go through them, and hopefully we can discuss anything that is worth discussing. So officially I have taught 4 sections in total. We have section 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we will go section by section based on this report here. So this is from section 1. We have 5 comments there. The first comment: this is my favorite lecturer in this semester. Thank you for teaching me. You are welcome. Your explanation for lectures is very clear and understanding. Keep on what you are doing, sir. You are the best. Also, your jokes are also really funny. Do you think so? Anyway, may Allah bless you, insyaAllah, sir. So insyaAllah. So that's just a personal comment there. Second, I really like him. I understand what he taught. Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Third, his idea for flipped classroom was very helpful for me, and his online videos are great for learning. Okay, this is what I'm searching for, because I want to see what their comments are on the approach of teaching itself, right? So I always look into this comment where they are pinpointing what they like and what they do not like, what is good, helpful, etc. So basically 2 things here. Flipped classroom is very helpful, and also online videos is great for learning. So we'll discuss on that later. Now, love the flipped classroom style and the group quiz method implemented. Sir has a good sense of humor and always makes the class fun. So two things mentioned there. One is flipped classroom, one is the quiz, the way I have done the quiz this semester. Thank you for everything, sir. Keep up the flipped classroom technique. So 3 students actually in this section mentioned the flipped classroom technique in the positive light, so that is good to hear. We'll go straight to the next section first. Section 2, we have 8 comments. Your YouTube channel is really helpful for me to do revision. Thank you, sir. Alright, so this is also interesting, and one of the things that I'm hoping to learn from, the mention of the online video and how it helped in terms of revision. So that is also good to know. I like this lecture so much. Thank you. Good. Alhamdulillah. Continue your YouTube channel. Inshallah, I will continue. Inshallah. Assalamualaikum, sir. Could we discuss the quiz after you return it? It helps me to to determine my mistake. Okay, this is a good comment. Alhamdulillah. Unfortunately, this comment comes at the end of the semester, so I cannot rectify and improve in the previous semester. But hopefully, your comment is helpful for the next student that coming into the university, the kuliah and the lecture and the course. Hopefully you will get your reward for that comment, insyaAllah. But yeah, we'll have to discuss on that also, because in this previous semester we do not have any time to go in detail on the previous quizzes, what the student have make mistakes, etc. Right? So that can be improved. Hopefully there will be challenges in actually doing that in terms of the time limitation of the class. But thank you for the comment. Really had fun in his class, and he is willing to sacrifice his time in order to make us understanding his lecture. Thank you for that comment. I love this course. Thank you, sir. Best lecturer in this semester. I really love the flipped classroom. Okay, another comment on the flipped classroom in a positive light. Thank you. Now, One thing that I find interesting is some students say they enjoy the class, but in conducting the class throughout the semester, it's hard to sense whether they are enjoying themselves or not, because most of them from the beginning until the end always have the serious face, maybe with the weight of the subject. But in the comments, some of them say they are enjoying the class, so that's good to know. It's more helpful for me if I know exactly where they are feeling in the class itself, so that I can tune, etc. Right? So anyway, so let's go to section 3. There's 4 comments here. The first one: best lecturer ever. Always give a lot of exercises to do in class. Okay, this is another aspect. Exercises. This lecturer should be awarded as the best lecturer. Okay, that comment itself is good enough for me. Flipped classroom is a good concept to apply, especially in engineering subjects. I do agree personally. Sir Saifuddin really take a great advantage the usage of technology, where he would upload the lecture on YouTube so that the students are able to watch it before coming to class. And next day in class, the main focus is to know how to answer questions, especially final exam question. Thank you very much, sir. Allah bless you. Second comment, excellent. Third comment, so far so good, so good. So good. I think this survey is done at the very end of the semester, so I'm not sure what is meant by so far so good, because it's already at the end. But anyway, although he is strict, I still managed to get 90 plus. You just need to believe in yourself. So good to know. Based on your comment, I'm assuming that 90 plus is the midterm exam, because this survey is done before the final exam, or before the final exam results, right? So hopefully you also get 90 plus in the final, because I'm not sure which student are you, but hopefully, because you're optimistic there, hopefully you are among those who get A, insyaAllah. Okay, so there's comment about the flipped classroom, and also what is the one that, okay, actually going through the exercises in class. So that's another aspect that I think is really helpful. Hopefully, because I didn't note all of this, so hopefully I remember what I have read. Okay, this is section 4. Only 5 comments, but really long comments. Okay, so we'll just go through it. Almost every class have quizzes, but I like it because it will make me study earlier and understand better. Okay, so I take that as a positive comment. So a lot of quizzes, but it helped them because it pushed them to prepare more. So give a very clean and clear explanation about what he's teaching. We have to watch his video from YouTube before the class begins. If you didn't watch it, we'll be like a statue in his class. And Alhamdulillah, until now I have watched every one of his video before classes. Thank you, sir. So Alhamdulillah, that's good to know. But yeah, that's the other side. If any student that is not prepared and come to class, they will be lost because they do not go through the lecture first, right? Okay, this is in Malay. Should I read it? This is quite long, so I'll just read it. If you understand, you understand. I'll try to translate if it's relevant to translate. Sir, jujur saya katakan, saya sangat bertuah mendapat seorang murabbi seperti Sir. InsyaAllah saya akan ingat kata-kata Sir ketika awal-awal kita start kelas dulu, especially tentang adab menjadi seorang murid dan tujuan sebenar kita hidup di dunia ini. Sehingga saat ini saya masih lagi tersentuh bila Sir cakap yang Sir tak kisah jika kami dapat result yang baik dalam subjek Sir, jika kami tak dapat result yang baik dalam subjek Sir, asalkan kami sentiasa menjaga hubungan kami dengan Allah. Okay, even though I didn't actually say in that way, but it's not that I totally do not care if they get a bad grades, but to frame it more properly, what I'm saying is, even if they get good grades, but if they fail in terms of their relationship with the creator and then fail in the hereafter, then it is not worth it to score in here and fail there, right? I want them to score all the way until the hereafter, right? So excelling in the subject in the engineering but failing in hereafter is not a success that I consider as a success, right? So yeah, benarlah cakap kalau kita ikhlas dalam mempelajari sesuatu perkara itu, maka ketika kita tidak faham tentang sesuatu perkara, kita mesti tidak akan malu untuk tanya soalan berkenaan perkara itu. Okay, that's another concept that I try to instill. I'm not sure. It's good that the student mentioned this. I hope this means that it really affects him or her. None of the other students mentioned about this, but that's the concept that I hope they will carry on throughout their study and throughout their life. Because if you are ikhlas, if you have ikhlas sincerity, you will ask if you do not understand, etc. Right? Saya akan rindu untuk belajar dengan Sir nanti, terutama sekali part yang short tazkirah yang Sir bagi tu. Thank you Sir, sebab kata-kata Sir telah banyak menyentuh hati saya untuk menjadi seorang pelajar yang bersungguh-sungguh menjaga nilai-nilai Islam dalam diri saya. Doakan kami ya Sir, supaya kami juga dapat menjadi seperti Sir suatu hari nanti, insyaAllah. So I hope you I'll try to still post something that is on that level in a video, insyaAllah. So teruskan perjuangan Sir untuk terus mendidik anak-anak didikan Sir dengan seberapa banyak yang semampu tentang nilai-nilai Islam seperti yang Sir buat untuk batch kami kali ini. Saya doakan moga Allah membalas jasa Sir dengan keberkahan dan keredaan dalam kehidupan Sir dan keluarga di dunia dan akhirat. Okay, for those who do not understand the language, basically the long message here or the comment here is not specifically on the approach. How to say, it's quite different than what I have read so far, in the sense that it focusing on value part, the aspect of value, right? And this university actually pride itself to say that it is a garden of virtue and knowledge, right? So basically this comment is about the virtue part rather than the knowledge part. Anyway, the next comment, very firm, funny but very firm. Funny but very firm. That's interesting. Because if the student says he is firm but very funny, it's like, okay, it's firm but still is funny. But now it's okay, it's funny but it's very firm. I'm not sure is that. I'll take it as a compliment anyway. One of the lecturer that did combine Islam into his lectures never failed to make the class very interesting every single time. Okay, thank you, and hopefully I try my best in terms of instilling the Islamic value whenever I can. So when any student mention this aspect, it means that some of it is affecting the student in a good way, hopefully, insyaAllah. So that's more than I can hope for. Keep up the good work. Alright, so that's all the comments from the 4 sections. So we'll go briefly into some of the elements, and then I think some of the elements need to be discussed in more detail in the separate videos, I think, so that we can focus on the aspect of flipped classroom, etc. Because this is just to wrap up the previous semester and generally what we have learned. And yeah, so now we are concluding the video with what we have learned in short, inshallah. Alright, so the first point is about the flipped classroom. The previous semester is actually the first semester ever that I have embarked on the flipped classroom approach full force. What that means is this: I've posted the videos online. The student have to cover the lecture first online before coming to class, and in the class we will go and basically have a tutorial of how to answer and address problems, solving problems, etc. So in general, I think this is good in terms of it accelerate the learning process. That's number 1. Number 2, the student actually done what they need to do anyway actually in learning process, which is come to class prepared. So right now in this format, they are forced to be more prepared than if you are just letting them to prepare on their own, I think. And with that also, we have more time to focus on problem solving skills in the class, because normally previously if we are focusing on the concept in class, we do not have enough time to go into different type of question, problem solving examples, etc., because there's no time, it's not enough, and they have to do those revision on their own and their own time. But when we do it in class, I think they are exposed to more real type of question, exam level question, etc., and it does really help for the most part of the student to be better in terms of addressing or understanding or answering the problems in the exam. Now, number 2 is about the online videos that the student have to watch before coming to class. Now, when I have started this process, I didn't actually thought of the video can be helpful for the student in some of the ways that the student mentioned in this student feedback, and also some feedback that I have done in class, right? So number 1, they can actually go through the lecture at their own pace, right? For example, if they do not understand, they can rewind, pause, etc., right? So it's helpful for some student that they can rewatch any portion that they have to hear or listen to or go through more than once. So that's helpful. Number 2, they can actually go through the video back if they forgot or if they need to do the revision towards the final exam, for example, right? So this kind of advantages or positive side of the online video, I didn't think of it can help the student in this way before, but once it is there, alhamdulillah, it does help the student in this way. So yeah, that is basically the wrapping up of the previous semester, the results of the student feedback survey, and also some things that we have learned. I will make a dedicated video for the flipped classroom itself and what things that I have learned so far from the students feedback also, for those who are interested in that subject. I think this kind of video is more interesting for the student who actually go through the course. And if you are not and you're still watching this, thank you very much, because I don't think many students who are not my student are interested in this kind of video. But anyway, if you have watched until this point, or hopefully it is helpful or beneficial or informative in any way, do like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video.